I took Spanish in high school, but I cheated through all of it. So
If Taco Bell
counts,
that's Spanish.
So can you turn my headphones down just a little bit more?
And I also wonder if hang on, here comes the burp.
Thank you.
That was weak.
Because I muffled it. I'm trying to be ladylike.
Since when?
I don't know. Since 5 minutes ago.
Woof.
Here we go. Yay. Oh. Now I've gone down a little bit too much.
These are the world's most
Stop,
uncomfortable
stop,
chairs,
stop,
by the way.
Stop.
Wait, are you going to do it? So
I'm
I
gonna
don't have to
do
get
it.
up and down?
Yeah.
You're so much smarter than me. Okay.
Tell me when.
Right there.
Right there?
Mm-hmm. That's good. And then once we know we have sound and everything else, we can hop to it. Oh, boobs. Hang on.
Don't be afraid of the boobs, Kel. It's fine.
Well, I don't want my boobs hanging out, but I like the pink. So
I know,
it's like
we want viewership, so you know.
we want viewership.
Skin to win.
I found my lip gloss.
Ah, hey.
You can have yours.
Yeah, thanks.
You'll have to move that.
Oh, move this.
Yeah.
That's fine because I'm going to turn it off once we're live on
Okay.
Instagram or
Someone just said we can see and hear you
on YouTube.
on this
Yeah.
chat.
That's
Why do you look so disappointed?
I'm not. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
The screen is
Oh,
YouTube
okay.
chat.
So and then if I click on one like this,
It'll pop right up.
and then how do I go back to our faces? Or
You just
unhide it.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So to everybody on Instagram, hop off and go on YouTube. That's where we're going to be live in like 5 seconds.
Well, we're live right now.
Oh yeah, we're already live.
Just kidding.
Oh, on the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes. Technology is hard.
Perfect. By the way, we had great viewership last week. I can't see the live numbers. I'm sure I could, but I didn't look. All right.
Cool.
I should stop just thinking out loud and just start talking. Okay, so when Joe gets back in, if he gives me the thumbs up, then we'll be ready to go.
Cool. OMG, we are back.
You ready to go? All right, awesome. All right, it is Kelly Manno. We are back with the Kelly Manno Show here with Stephanie and Haas. And hang on, you guys talk amongst yourself for just a minute while I fix something.
Oh, jeez.
I was going to say, I'm going to have to look at you through this camera because that square is right in my way.
There we go. I can see you now. I just needed to turn it around. How is everybody's week?
Good.
Cold?
Cold.
Very cold.
Stupid cold?
Freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like stupid cold.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for it to be this cold anywhere ever.
It's unreasonable. Yeah.
And I'm not a cold person. Like I'm like a hot box, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I can't even handle. Like my daughter had a hockey game last night, and I was so excited to go in and warm up, like in the rink. I was like, yes.
I don't mind cold. Like I can do cold. I can do wet. I can't do cold and wet.
Which is pretty much what it's been.
Yeah.
Did you see? I'm sure Haas did, but the Buffalo game yesterday.
Did I watch? I watched the Buffalo game.
That's a rhetorical question.
Yes, but did you see the video of, first of all, the stadium like the day before? Apparently
2 feet of snow on the field.
Didn't they have like fans coming and shoveling?
It's pretty common in Buffalo. They'll put out a call for people to come and shovel out the stadium, and if you do it, they'll give you a ticket to the game.
Oh, really? Free
Yeah.
ticket with a shovel?
Did you see the guy in like shirtless, like sliding down the steps?
The tube, yeah.
Yes. Like what tube is that even?
That's amazing.
I don't know. But then yesterday they showed like whoever they hired to like shovel out the stadium did a really shitty job because yesterday.
Because it was fans.
Well, they didn't care about the stands. They just want the field ready to play.
Yeah.
The fans can go up themselves.
I mean,
They
you can
told
sit on a
people-
pile of snow for all
They
they care, I
told the
guess.
fans yesterday at 10, the game was 4:00 Eastern. They told the fans at 10 a.m., if you're coming, wear waterproof shoes and pants. You're going to be sitting in snow.
Oh my God. So what about, did you guys see the guys trying to get to their seats and they were like
them
walking
out?
in like waist high snow?
Yep.
That is insane.
But if you watched that game at kickoff, you'd have never known there was snow in there.
No, well, I was watching stuff on social media and then I turned on the game and I'm like, this looks like it's in two different places.
Yeah.
Is it because the Bills fan did such a good job with the field, but just not?
Well, the NFL crew, like the people who get paid to do that shit for a living,
They get
did
to
a
do
real good job.
They get to do the actual stuff. Okay.
And then they told the fans, come in and dig out.
Have fun.
Does that happen in all the cities or is it just Buffalo?
I mean,
Like Green Bay, did they do that?
Green Bay does it. Yeah, they're outside.
Okay.
The first playoff game I ever went to was when I was in college, and it was in Kansas City. and it was an ice storm the night before, and we had to kick our seats down because they were frozen.
Oh my God. So this means, speaking of Kansas City, this means Kansas City goes to Buffalo, right?
Yep.
Is that the plan?
Whoa.
Are you giving double middle fingers in the air?
Yeah, I hate the Chiefs
So
more than any other team aside from maybe the Patriots, but the Patriots suck now.
yeah.
I hate the Kansas City Chiefs and their fans.
Yeah, you can send your hate mail to Haas.
Bring
So what do you hate about Kansas City?
Their fans are remedial stupid.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like Nashville hockey fans.
I had no problems with the Chiefs or their fans until I went to college, and I realized just how dumb Chiefs fans are.
Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating when you are at a sport and the fans,
And now they're entitled.
Wow.
they sure are entitled. Now, I don't hate the Chiefs, but I'm also not a big football person. Like I've never been a huge football fan until I fell in love with Nick Bosa on the 49ers. And now
Fair.
suddenly I'm a fan of the 49ers.
Yeah, fair.
I tuned in to watch Nick Bosa, and now like I know the whole team and the story and the franchise, and now I'm invested. So I'm down for the 49ers to win. However, if it weren't the 49ers, I just want Buffalo to win because I want to see the shit show that happens in the city
Buffalo's never won a championship in anything,
in anything.
hockey or football.
God
It's a hockey
dang.
team.
They've gotten close to the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah.
Never
Here's the
heard of
thing.
them.
Here's your St. Louis connection to the Buffalo Sabres. To this day, I have a lot of friends from Buffalo. I can't wear anything Brett Hull around them. Doesn't matter if it's Blues or not.
Did they have Hull, or did we just from us beating them?
When Dallas won the cup in
Mhm.
2000, they played Buffalo, and it was a very controversial call where Brett was in the crease
And
for a
scored
game-winning
that goal. Yeah, I have
And to this day, people in Buffalo will die on the hill that shouldn't have been a goal.
I have a
Wow.
framed picture of that goal. I think you gave it to me.
I've
Yeah.
literally never heard of the Sabres.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm a huge hockey
That's all
fan,
right.
but like,
But normally you know about most of the teams.
yeah, like I've at least heard of the team. I've literally never heard of the Sabres.
Yeah, they're not.
Also, another jersey that you really can't wear in Buffalo is a Ryan O'Reilly jersey.
Wow.
Is that
they're-
where he? Oh, that's where he came from.
They're really salty that we traded for him and won a cup the next year. Yeah.
I mean, shit happens.
Yeah.
Get over it. Yeah, I didn't get to watch any of the Blues game last night. I know that they lost. That's all I know. I was at my kid's game, but yeah, lots of sports going on all week long. And then when
The
is
best time of year for sports.
it really is.
Nothing else to do.
You're stuck inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I feel like I have ADD, like trying to watch different things. And I tried. I don't know if you guys followed this on Facebook or not, but a couple of weeks ago, I tried to cut cable. Now, you guys know I am like Gen X to my core. I don't like learning new things. I don't
Right.
like technology, but I fed into the peer pressure of all these people saying, you got to go streaming, you got to go streaming. And I'm like, fine, I'll go streaming because I already had Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, HBO, like the main ones. And I'm like, well, then I'll just add in like Fubo and Danzy and all the other stupid ass sports ones. I even got like YouTube TV. And then here comes the weekend. It's time to watch the 49ers game, which is on Fox. It's on a major network
Yeah.
and it wasn't streaming anywhere. And I thought I was going to flip tables in my house. And I was like, I can't handle this. And like called DirecTV, like walk of shame. I'm like, hook this shit back up now.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the thing is,
Do you guys still have cable? Am I the
Oh,
only
I do.
one?
No, I have cable. But
No.
I have cable because where I live is kind of in a valley. And if there's bad weather, satellite craps out, streaming craps out.
I have not had cable or satellite in about 15 years.
Okay, so answer me this. So if you don't have cable, does that mean that you have to sit down to watch TV like with a purpose? Like you're like,
No.
because how do you just like put stuff on in the background and just like I need noise. I need like the Kardashians or like some other trash television.
Now, I need my husband and I, neither of us are like sports geeks,
Right.
we don't like,
So that's-
we need to watch like sports things regularly. So we don't need that.
Yeah.
But we also have over the air antennas. So I can just turn on my TV and get local channels.
Wait, what?
So
Yeah,
I have an
HD
antenna.
antennas.
Yeah, I have an HD antenna. So I have an antenna in my attic that gets local stations. So I get, 2, 4, 5, 9, 11, 30, whatever. I get all of those just on my TV with a local antenna.
Yep.
So that's fine. I can turn on my TV and flip channels like the local channels.
Well,
fine
I
with
didn't
that.
know. Well, I did know that. But see, when I asked somebody like, well, how do you go without cable? They're like, well, you just got to get a slingeroo and put it on your roof. And then you got to get, it's like this whole thing. And I'm
no,
like,
I don't
No, you
care.
just have to get you have to get an antenna, an HD antenna, and hook it up to your TV to get your local channels, and then everything else we have is streaming, which I'm fine with streaming. I mean, we've got all the things, the Netflix and the Hulu and HBO and all, whatever.
I'm an
all the
old man.
things, and so I'm fine.
I'm
with
an
doing
old
all
woman.
that.
If
I can't.
if I have to push more than 3 buttons to get what I'm looking for, I don't care that much.
Like, how do you not just want to pick up your remote and just hit a button and your
Yep.
TV comes on and everything's in front of you?
What
you don't-
channel? 48. Cool,
Yes.
done.
You don't have to log in and out of stuff
I
because
don't. It's already logged in. It's
Okay.
already logged in on my TV. We have it set up, so it's already done.
I know, but your life is like simple. Mine, I get kicked out of stuff. Stephanie knows my struggle with passwords.
do.
And how
Yeah.
I don't know my password to anything ever. And if I go to the password thing on my phone that I didn't even know existed until 6 months ago, those are out of date.
Kelly's not machine.
A lot of
controllable.
people are saying Hulu Live, and that's a good substitute for live TV.
But
The
are there
problem I-
channels? Or do
Yeah,
you-
there are.
Yeah.
Here's the problem that I have with the streaming services is 5-10 years ago it was great, but now all those streaming services are catching on and signing exclusive deals with content creators
Yes.
and content.
Yes.
So now you need this service for that and this service for that and this service for that. I don't want to sign in and out of 18 different apps over the
No,
course of a night.
That is
Thank
that
you.
is a thing sometimes, where you're like, oh, you flip through Netflix a little bit. That's what I want to watch here. So you flip over to Hulu and you watch a handful of things there, or you flip through a few things there. Nothing I want to watch there. You might go over to, HBO or Max or whatever it is now. Find something you want to watch. So maybe you're flipping through a couple different things, but it's not a hassle for me because it's it's a couple buttons on my remote. It's not a big deal. It's no worse for
It
me.
sounds awful.
It's not. It's no worse for me than going to the guide on your remote, going to the guide and flipping down channels, for 10 minutes. You're shaking your head like,
Well,
I mean, it's the same damn thing.
no,
It's
it's
the same
not.
thing, like,
And the
Meh.
the early arguments were it's cheaper,
it's
and now
not
that's
cheaper.
gone. You're getting bent over, grabbing your ankles if you think that having 19 streaming services is cheaper with all
Right.
those contracts running
That's
out, and then
exactly the
they
thing.
raise their prices, and you don't know, and all this different stuff, and it makes me insane. So anyway, Hoss and I will forever be old men and women.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
fine. Do what you want to do. I'm just
Steph-
all I'm here to say is that it's not. I don't think it's.
Here's what I like.
You'd have to make an argument to tell me that it's more difficult than flipping channels for cable. I just don't. I can't be convinced that it is.
My argument for cable is twofold. One, it's not any more expensive than all the streaming anymore.
No.
2, when things don't work, hey, come fix this shit. And they come do it.
Exactly. Send a dude out to my house.
Send the guy. That's it.
Send the guy.
Send the
Yeah,
guy.
no.
Well, for us, it's we still say send the guy because when things are down, it's usually the internet.
Right.
The internet's down.
Who do you use for internet?
I think we have the AT&T fiber.
Okay.
I don't know what internet I have, but it sucks ass. It's
Yeah.
out all the time. Kids are always yelling. I don't have time to look into it. But switching gears, speaking, we talked about, I mentioned grabbing your ankles, and it reminded me of this thing that's been bothering me
Speaking
all
of
week
grabbing
long.
ankles.
So I did a TikTok this week about Gen X games. I did Red Rover
Oh, yeah.
and how
Oh, yeah.
amazing Red Rover was.
Loved it.
And how
favorite.
it was just like a kamikaze mission every time, and your only job was to run full speed and get absolutely obliterated by two people taking you down like a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had this vision in my head, and I can't get rid of it. And there was a game growing up, and maybe it was a soccer thing. There was a game growing up in the 80s and 90s that involved you having to go stand on a wall and bend over and grab your ankles, and people would kick or throw balls at your butt.
Okay, you lost me there. I did
Okay.
not play
I think
this
that
game.
game's called Prison.
Yeah.
It's a real game, and
Nope.
I have this vision of going up to a brick wall and bending over and grabbing my ankles and waiting for somebody to hit me in the
Somebody
butt with
lied
a
to you,
ball.
I mean,
Kelly.
I've seen that movie.
Somebody lied to you, Kelly.
Somebody said it was called Butts Up, and I think
That's what that is.
Somebody said dodgeball. I don't know what
No,
dodgeball you were
that ain't
playing.
it's not dodgeball. I think it was called Butts Up, but I don't remember any rules of it besides
That's called a non-consensual assault.
and I remember having soccer balls kicked at my ass, and then I also remember being tennis balls, people throwing them. And I'm trying to think, but see,
It's
here's
not a game, Kelly.
Here's one other thing I need to remind people who are new is that I was raised in a town called Granite City, Illinois. We did things a little different there. So a lot of times when I remember something from my childhood, I'm like, was that just a Granite City thing or was that like a real thing?
I think that might have been a Granite City thing.
I
I
don't
think
know.
it has to have been. Because
Also-
I grew up also in Illinois, and that did not happen at our school.
I can't imagine any male voluntarily playing that game.
Yeah, they would. Like, I'm telling you, it's called Butts Up. And then like something like you would throw something against the wall. And then I don't remember how it was determined who had to grab their ankles, but somebody would have to go and grab their ankles and get a ball, kicked or thrown at their butt. Somebody's going to remember. I'm not insane. I swear to God, I'm not insane.
Well, I mean,
I've never heard of
no,
that.
me either.
And I've played a lot of dumb crap. I've played games that you can't say the name of anymore.
Well, trust me, that was the end of my video. I said, next week, I'm going to try to explain how to play Smear the Blank without
Yeah.
getting canceled. And I don't think I can. So you guys can all just use your
I'm
imagination.
sure there's another name for it now,
I-
but that's what we called it.
Yeah, no, I don't know what else it's called. It was an amazing game though. The premise of the game was just there was one ball and like 30 kids,
Yeah.
and if you had the ball, 29 people were trying to kill you.
Yeah. And as soon as you got tackled, you had to throw the ball in the air.
Into
And
somebody else.
I don't think I had this game either.
here's the thing. Why? And it happened every time. Everyone tried to catch it. Why?
Why?
Are you voluntarily trying to catch it? To be the one guy that 29 other people were going to try to like tackle, not just tackle,
Yeah.
but like tackle and dogpile.
I think it depended on your age
Yeah,
and the male to female ratio of
true.
the crowd, maybe.
Or just the testosterone because I was
Yeah.
a girl, but I
Yeah.
never wanted to lose anything. So, my God. All right. So
Somebody said that game is on Wikipedia and it is called Butts Up.
okay. See, I'm not crazy. At least I'm not insane.
I'm going to Wikipedia that later because I have never.
never-
I'm scared to Wikipedia or Google the word butts up because like I've had to Google a few things in my
PSA.
day that was like, wait, that's not what I was trying to look up.
PSA, do not Google Butts Up.
No. So couple
Do it at
things.
work.
Do it at work, get fired. So a couple things that we are actually planning on talking about today. Two things. Number one, online dating. Number two, 3 guys that were found dead in their buddy's backyard.
Very
So
related.
yeah, very related. Which one do you guys want to start with? You want to start with the suspicious deaths, or do you want to do the online dating?
I think we'll have more to say about the suspicious deaths.
You think we will?
Yeah.
Was
So-
that an Elvis song?
Suspicious minds.
Oh, sorry. Close.
Well, then let's get into that first because then obviously
We can end on a light note.
we can end on a light note. That's a great idea. So what we have to remember, and I'm talking to Hoss here, is that because this show is because I have a national audience now, we have to talk about everything with care.
Right.
Does that make sense? That
Yeah,
like we're
use the term allegedly a lot.
well, yes, care and also thinking about family members and stuff like that.
Sure.
Because no longer are we in this little like rock in my house where like just our local friends listen to, but this is something where the victims'
get it.
families could be listened. So we're going to talk about this with care. But
Shout out body number 3's aunt and uncle.
stop, you're such an asshole. God.
You said they might be watching. I just wanted to say hi.
All right, so shoot, I might need Projo in here because I just lost the thing I was looking for. It was the photos, the pictures I sent you. So
We're professionals here, folks.
Mm.
we are. It's only our second week in the studio. I'm learning. So last week, a week from last Sunday, so we're talking like 9 days ago. I'm trying to find the pictures. What's it under? Design. There we go. Perfect. All right. So a week and a half ago, there were 3 guys in Kansas City who went to what they're saying was their friend's house to watch the Kansas City Chiefs game. I'm going to pop up a picture of them right now on the screen. You guys can see them.
So this was like a week and a half ago, not this past week in
No.
the super cold game.
Yeah. So like 9 days ago.
Okay.
So these 3 guys went to go watch the Chiefs football game at their friend's house. I use the term friend loosely. And I wanted the main reason I'm bringing this story up is because there is no media coverage of this. None. And it just,
Well, clearly a little bit because this says news.
right. But what I'm saying is that like, this is not national. Like we live in Missouri. Like
Right.
we should know this story. So these 3 guys went to this guy named Jordan's house to watch the Chiefs game. They never came home that night.
Mhm.
Didn't show up to work Monday morning. And then by Tuesday, the families of them were completely frantic trying to find them. The fiance of one of these guys, Clayton. Her name is April. She went to the house that they had been at. They had been pounding on this guy's door. He's not answering. They'd been sending him messages that apparently he was reading but not responding to. And
Left them on red, huh?
Yeah, left them on red. And so the girlfriend or the fiance goes over, busts in a basement door because she did not know. What ended up happening was they were found dead in the backyard. And I'm going to show you a picture of the backyard now. Now there's a privacy fence going around it. So clearly
this is a real estate photo.
Yes, this is like a real estate photo of the back of the house. She had broken in through the basement and was able to look out a window and saw a body on the patio and called the police. When the police came out, they found the other two guys in the yard. So
just laying on the yard, not like buried in the yard, but
just laying. They had been snowed on because it had snowed like within those 48 hours.
Okay.
And so she called the police. They found all three of them. The police came and knocked. So the guy who lives there, his name is Jordan Willis. They knocked on his door. Apparently he opened the door like in boxers with like a glass of wine. And they were like, hey,
he's just chilling.
Lovely.
Yeah. They're like, you got 3 dead bodies in your backyard. And he's like, huh? Who?
Bet.
And they said, your friends that were here, they never left. And he said, well, I guess they must have frozen to death. Now their cars were still in his driveway. Okay. From the football game. 2 of them rode together. 1 of them drove separate. So 2 of their cars were still parked at his house. They had been dead in his backyard for over 48 hours, and the bodies were removed. There have been no signs of any kind of like criminal investigation because everybody's watching this house, at least, the people on TikTok and, the internet sleuths. And there's been no, you haven't seen any activity of like police bringing out bags or him being taken into custody for questions. Nothing. 3 healthy men found dead in their friend's backyard and absolutely nothing. And I'm going to pull up the picture now of Jordan. This is the guy whose house they were at. And I don't know if this is important to note or not. I heard somebody say he was a scientist. And I'm like, a scientist? That's not like a real job anymore, right?
Can we drill down what kind of scientist?
Well, it looks like he works on vaccines for...
Data scientist. He's a data scientist.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's working with numbers. He's not working. He's not
like
with
lab,
chemicals.
He's not like a lab scientist, right?
Okay.
Right. So my question is that, obviously we can discuss theories responsibly on what in our brains we think happened. It's kind of unfair to just assume anything. We weren't there. We don't know them. But at the same time, like this story needs to be heard, which is why I want to share it. So what are your immediate thoughts on this situation?
Bad drugs.
Mm-hmm. For just the 3 of them? What about the guy?
Well, from what I read, he got tired and went to bed. I think they were all messed up. I think he was like, I don't feel good. I'm going to bed. Other 3 dudes probably went outside for something. I'm going to assume got locked out of the house, but were all messed up and probably froze to death.
Wow. That's what you think, honestly?
Yeah.
But I don't even know if the temperature was cold enough for them to freeze to death. I mean, so that seems impossible to me because somebody could have run and gotten help or yelled or...
That was going to be my
If they're that impaired, though, I mean, I'm not talking like, oh, they were messed up and stumbling. I'm talking, I would think that what happened was they got some bad dope, like real bad stuff.
Right.
And it completely immobilized them at some point.
So you think it immobilized all 4 of them, but the one who was still inside...
The one who lived there probably... I walked through this like if this was me and it was my house. If I started feeling the effects of something weird, I'd be like, I'm going to bed. Y'all want to stay watch the game? Watch the game. I don't feel right. I'm going to bed.
Especially if these are people you're used to having in your house. And how do you explain him not seeing or knowing that there's bodies in the backyard for 2 days?
I thought about that. How much snow was there?
Not a lot. It was like a couple of inches. Like they weren't completely buried. It wasn't like a foot of snow, but it was to where their bodies were a little bit disguised.
Because I coming here was the first time I left my house in 72 hours.
That's true.
But you have a dog.
Yeah.
Well, and this guy...
I open the door, let it out, and it comes back in. I don't go out with it.
No, but
it's a fenced yard.
Yeah, but don't you look outside?
Not really.
No?
It's a fenced yard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't look outside a ton either. I just kind of let my dogs in and out. Now, he does have dogs.
To play devil's advocate. Like,
sure.
No,
and that's fair. Now, apparently his dogs weren't with him, so that's not even a factor. They weren't at his house
Okay.
or something like
There
that.
you
So
go.
it was just him. So the thing is, was he completely inebriated for those next 2 days?
Well, that's it.
Because there's no way you're sober and don't know that that's going on.
I mean, if he was nursing some sort of a hangover, be it a drug or alcohol or both hangover, it's possible that all he did for the next 12 to 24 hours was lay on the couch going, I made terrible decisions.
Yeah. I mean, people are even in the comments, they're saying, I can go days and not look out in my backyard. Like
Yeah,
it's completely normal, especially if it's like bad weather. So the only thing that makes sense, Stephanie, did you have anything before I jumped in?
No, that was going to be my argument, was that, I don't think there was enough snow to cover up
Right.
anything. If there was anything within like view of, I haven't seen, I guess I don't know that there's photos. There's probably not photos of any of it, but there's probably, if the bodies were anywhere in the view of the door of the backyard, I don't think there was probably enough snow to cover up anybody laying out back.
Now, to me, what would be the red flag was, even when I don't look out my back door to my backyard, I'm looking out the front windows to see if the streets have been plowed. And I would imagine if he saw that those dudes' cars were there,
right,
24 hours later, 48 hours later.
That's weird too.
Yeah.
Especially if there's been weather, you're looking outside to see how much did it snow? Have the streets been plowed? Did the dude not go out and check his mail?
Right.
Did the dude not go out and
I haven't checked my mail.
I don't ever check my mail. I went out today and I was like, I haven't checked my mail in a week.
Well, I mean, but I'm saying, if he's not going out, I mean, is he literally not like
the low temperature
at all?
The low temperature that day in the weather was 35 degrees. So you can't freeze to death in 35 degree weather.
No, I don't think
so. They didn't freeze it.
Someone just asked, why did he not respond to the message being sent to him? Again, I'm going to say, if he was hungover, man, if you message me and I'm not feeling well, I might read your message, but I'm going to let you sit for a while until I feel better.
Well, here's the other thing is that I went to all 3 of their Facebook pages and looked around. This is a really close-knit group of guys that follow these Chiefs game. They've been doing it for years, and it's not just the 3 of them. There's like a handful of them, and they just look like the happiest guys. And that Jordan guy is not in any of their photos. Yeah. None of them. Now he's not their friend on Facebook either, but I don't know if that got wiped. But you would think that if he was part of their little Chiefs crew, that he would be in some of their photos or something. I'm wondering if this was not a friend of theirs. And this was,
if he's not a friend of theirs, how did other people have his number?
Well, I think that's why it took people 2 days to find them, because if your loved one does not come home on Sunday night, I'm looking for them Sunday night. Yeah. And because the fiance didn't break in until Tuesday evening, I'm thinking that, maybe they said, hey, we're going to go watch the Chiefs game. And I wouldn't necessarily ask my significant other, like, oh, where are you going? Whose house? Like, if you're with your regular buddies, just go. So it could be a thing where they were at this guy's house, but nobody knew him or whose house that they were at. And this guy, Jordan, he rents his house. He doesn't buy it. So he wouldn't be listed anywhere. So if you were, even if they had the name, I went to my buddy Jordan's house to watch the game. If they don't have that guy's last name, and if they don't have, those people tracked on Life 360 and stuff, I think they didn't know this guy. I think that
someone had to know him. We're not just going to show up and be like, hey, man,
no,
I don't know you. You want to watch the football game?
So maybe not a stranger, but I'm thinking like if we're going to go along the drug route,
right,
that maybe this was their supplier. Maybe this was someone they knew they could go and get stuff. Because the only thing that makes sense to me of why they're outside would be that they went to smoke. Because what other drugs? You could do other drugs in the house. Like, why would you go outside? It would be to smoke something, right? So
don't ask me.
Yeah, but nowadays, I mean, I don't want to assume, terrible things about people who aren't here to defend themselves, but you can lace like weed with fentanyl now. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be that they were out there like, smoking crack or anything like horrible.
No, but when it's cold like that, even like people
go to the garage.
Well, but people are smoking weed in the house.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, but if it's a rented house, there may have been rules against that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to me, when people say, "Oh, they took drugs that was laced with something," that could very well be the point. I just don't want us to automatically.
Why were they still there though? If that guy was shitty and like going to do that to them, like sell these guys,
I don't necessarily know that he's the one that did it. I think I'm still on the same page that I think whoever assuming it was drugs, whoever they got it from, all 4 of them did it. How those 3 ended up outside and dead and he's in his bed is the question. but I'm thinking that they all took the same thing. He may just not have taken as much and or didn't have the same adverse reaction.
Well, I mean, that's how our brains, that's a good point. My brain works totally different. My brain thinks they came there, they got it from this guy. Maybe they were hanging out there, then they went outside and they smoked. Like I said, it could have been weed, which is legal in most places now. So
Sure.
Yeah. Whenever we say like, oh, they were doing drugs, I don't want it to sound like we're talking negatively of them. But it could have been anything, but it had to have been. Well, it didn't have to have been something they could have ingested. They could have been suffocated. Like, you don't know. There was no signs of foul play, which only means
he could have done it. He totally could have done it. And then he's like, I'm just going to drag him outside. I don't know.
Yeah, but if he would have dragged him outside, don't you think he would have done something with the bodies within 48 hours and not just been like, hey, cops, what's up?
Right.
You would think.
Yep, 3 bodies in my backyard.
I don't know.
You got me.
I just think there's no way that it's as innocent as Haas is making it sound. I just think that
probably not, but
I think that, the thing that
if he did it, he is the world's dumbest
murderer.
Right. Which he's a scientist. So you had to be smart to do that stuff. And you can't figure out how to shit, I could bury a body.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
If this was something that even happened on accident,
yeah.
He's like, hey guys, I got some whatever, come over and watch the game and we'll get messed up, let's do this, and then shit goes sideways. And then all of a sudden, even if he's freaking out about it, he's going to do something about it. He's going to call 911. And even if he doesn't do that, even if he doesn't do that and says I got to handle this myself, he's going to try to do something to handle it himself.
It's one of two things.
He literally did none of that.
He either did it or he had the same bad stuff that the other 3 guys had. It's in my mind, it's the only 2 options.
Can you?
Because if it's an accident, you call 911 and go, I just woke up. There's 3 guys in my backyard unresponsive.
Could you do drugs that will knock you out for an entire 24 hours? Is that a thing? I
don't know.
The body does crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. It could be that he woke up and took more of whatever it was and went back to bed again.
I don't know.
It's just, to me, it's just so weird that there's no type of formal investigation. And I hate questioning, law enforcement because they're a lot smarter than me, but it's there's no activity. He hasn't been brought in for questioning. He hasn't been charged with a crime. They have not, they
haven't even questioned him?
Well, if they did, it wasn't at the station. He hasn't left his house and been taken down. He had a U-Haul in his driveway yesterday or the day before. So he's moving his shit out. So it's even if there was, evidence to be found, it's just.
To be fair, though, I wouldn't want to stay there either. If there,
I would imagine
that's true.
3 dead people in your backyard is probably breach of your rental agreement.
Yeah. I imagine his landlord was like, buddy,
you need to leave.
You got to go.
You're not getting your deposit back.
I guess that's it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But I just wanted to get the story out there. We don't know any more than you guys do. And anything we've talked about is speculation because there are no major news outlets covering this. And the fact that I'm learning about this from TikTok sleuths is horrible and sad and should not ever be the case. And I really wish that some type of journalist would hop on this and get to the story a little bit more because it's very sad. But we will stay on it. I know that there's GoFundMe's for all 3 of the guys who are gone. And if you want to help out that way, you can. But yeah,
I would imagine there has to be some sort of an ongoing investigation.
Sure. But
ongoing, but yeah, there's not.
Hurry the hell up. What?
Well, do you want it done quick or do you want it done right?
You're right. You want it done right. No, you're right. You're right. It's so easy to play armchair detective and be like, get your ass up and go.
Yeah. It's very mind-boggling because it makes no damn sense.
No, it doesn't.
Especially when there's lack of evidence. If there's nothing to go on, what are they going to do?
Yeah. And this will be a great transition, but I was talking to this guy on online dating in the FBI. He was in the FBI for 10 years. And I'm like, do I ask him?
Yes.
Hey, by the way, FBI guy, I'm trying to solve this murder or this crime.
He loves that.
Well, no, so I don't know. He stopped talking to me, so we don't talk anymore. But when we first started talking, and he said he was with the FBI, I was like, okay, sure you are, And then once we got to know each other more, and I got his last name, and then I googled him, oh, you really were with the FBI. I'm like, so this is probably a good time to tell you that I go to Crime Con and that I literally go to murder conventions with a bunch of old ladies who think we can solve crime, and I'm just gonna admit it right now because you're gonna find out at some point.
No, I know.
Speaking of online dating, Haas.
Yeah.
Nobody prepares you for how bad it is.
It sucks.
I mean,
Dating as an adult is awful.
So I'm single for the first time in 20 years. Jimmy and I separated in April, and I literally didn't leave the house for 8 months, however long the rest of the year is.
Oh yeah.
And then kind of my New Year's resolution was I should try online dating because I'm in a weird situation where like I have plenty of friends and family around me, and I have plenty of messages from like guys that want to like go on a date with me, but it's all like my TikTok fans, which is
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah, you got to wonder about the motivation.
You don't want to do
from
that.
So for me, I thought, number one, I've always been so nosy about online dating. It's been like this thing that I've wondered about, but couldn't look in and see. And then number two, it gives me like a fresh slate of like people who don't know jack shit about me.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I started trying it, and I've actually, for the most part, had a lot of fun because I've had fun, but I can see why it makes people lose their mind, because the thing that I've noticed the most, like overall, is that online dating is a big group of very, very, very hurt men and very, very exhausted women.
Yep.
That's a good way to put it, probably. Yeah.
That's all it is. It is hurt men and it is exhausted women. And it doesn't operate any way that I thought it did, because when I dated, first of all, Haas, for all the years we've been friends, and you say dating as an adult is awful, I always said that doesn't make sense to me. Because when you're an adult, you know who you are, you know what you're looking for, you know what you like and don't like. If anything, it's harder when you're young. And I could not understand for the life of me what you were talking about. I see the light now.
Yeah.
It's right there in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I've solved the problem of online dating. Nobody's going to listen to me, but this is what it is. This is what I've decided anyway.
Oh man.
Is that with men, specifically in online dating, here's exactly what it is.
Let's take notes.
It is like, here's why online dating is not working for most men, is because to them, it is like a dopamine, like slot machine. It is like
for sure.
It is like you're gambling and you're like, ching, ching, and you're like, ooh, 3 cherries. She's really cool. I really like her. But if I pull it one more time, I might hit the jackpot. So it's like they never want to just settle with what they have in front of them. They want to keep going because it's right there in front of you to pull that lever one more time, to where in the real world 20 years ago, you didn't have access to that many people at once.
I always say that guys treat online dating like fishing with dynamite. I sat at a dinner 4 years ago across the table from a guy who the entire dinner just went like this, not even looking at his phone.
Oh my God.
What?
Swiping. Just
Oh.
swiping.
And then at the end of the meal, he looked down to see how many matches he had.
Oh my God. See, so I'm the opposite. I'm very, very, very picky. Because I don't want to waste anybody's time. And I've got I've got this like 3-point system. I've got a chart. I think it's actually in this notebook. I've got a chart in here of like, they have to like,
I don't think that's anything I ever thought I would hear you say.
right? Well, they have to cross these like 3 points of like, are they going to be a serial killer? And so I've got a couple different things that I check and cross-reference. Like this one guy, oh my God, rap sheet was gigantic.
Nice.
I mean, and it was all criminal stuff too.
Whoa.
Because like, I'm not meeting with you. This is the other thing, is that people want to meet with you and not know your last name or anything. They want to keep it totally anonymous. Is that normal?
Don't ask me. I won't online date.
But you've tried it, haven't you?
Like for 5 minutes. I was on Tinder for all of 5 minutes before I realized this is not a place for me.
Well, Tinder, isn't that like the hookup app?
It is
kinda?
now, yeah.
Or,
I thought they were all.
So here's the
hookup
thing.
apps.
no, because
Yes.
like 80% of people on there. But I have
All right.
had.
Here, hold on. Before we go past the hookup site or
Yep.
dating site, over or under Baker's dozen, how many dick pics have you gotten?
So I actually get more just in my regular inbox, because on my profile it says, do not send me a picture of your dick. Like, it's like when my cat brings me a dead mouse. I know you're really proud of it, but I'm still not going to look at it. So just like stop sending them.
I don't know when this became a thing for guys.
I don't know.
I don't understand. When I was dating Satan, and this
Yes.
was
I forgot about Satan.
decade
We haven't
ago.
talked about her
I
in
know,
so
we haven't
long.
talked about
She
Satan
used to talk
forever.
about, she'd be at the club in New York City with girlfriends, and guys would just come up and show them to her on her cell phone. Like,
Oh yeah.
you want some?
Well,
I was like, what? That's a thing? She's like, every night we go out.
I showed you the one guy that we have mutual friends of that was like, please let me show it to you. Please let
Yeah.
me show. And I was like, no. And he's like, what if I just
wore
show
you
it to
down.
you on the outline of my pants? And I said, for fuck's sake. That
Is
was
that
like,
the equivalent of just the tip?
I guess. I don't know. But so he sent me the outline of it as pants. And
Yeah,
I sent back
fantastic.
like a laughing cat meme. And he's like, you're so immature. I'm like, me?
Wait, you're begging to show me your wang, and I'm
Yes,
the one that's
Begging
immature?
you. He was begging you.
And the thing is,
I don't get it, man.
are there girls out there that act like that turns them on? Like just the picture of it? Because I don't know.
Maybe it actually
Them
does for
hoes,
some
yeah.
people. Yeah.
I don't know a single girl who
don't
sees that and is like, hell yes.
Well, I think it's the same philosophy. What was it back in the day? The old joke of like, if you tell 100 girls nice shoes, want to F, one of them's going to say yes.
True.
It's
The
the same.
law of averages.
Yeah, it's the law of averages.
That's
Again, but this is the difference between, are you looking to date someone and have a girlfriend,
Yeah.
or just looking to have a fling?
Right.
so the only two that I'm on are Bumble, which is like a paid one, which I've already canceled, but it's still like active for like another week, I think. And then Facebook dating, which is free. So it's a little bit like way more fish in the sea, but you can find out more about people on Facebook dating. And then I don't know. My thing is like I've actually had
Hold on. Let me see your.
Okay, but you can't say some of this stuff out loud.
I won't. Let me actually.
Oh shit. Okay.
See, I always end up dating.
Just don't say like their last names. And then this is like the cross reference. And that's something I can't talk about. And that's for police work.
I
So-
always end up dating
Hang on.
girls that I'm already friends with,
Yeah.
or relatives of friends.
So I think that's probably where I'll end up. First of all, I can't date people I'm already friends with. It's just weird to me. I don't know.
Really?
Like, yeah, because I feel like if I were friends with somebody that I wanted to date,
Is this like it exists?
the check mark means they passed the law
They passed.
portion, that they have
Okay.
not done any criminal activities. Like, I don't care if you got like busted with like a DUI 10 years ago or like you got a bunch of traffic tickets, but if there's anything criminal on there, then you're gone.
So this one that says huge rap sheet.
That's Nathan. Yeah, no.
So you couldn't date a friend?
No, like a real friend that I've been friends with for no, because like I've always been the girl who's friends with people. Like
Right.
it's not,
Same.
I know, but it's like I don't look at people that way. I don't, you like,
See, I would be more apt to date you or Stephanie than I would be some random Becky I met at the bar.
Becky at the bar. I forgot about our random Becky things. See, I can't, like, once you're in my friend zone, like, that's where you live. Like, I can't.
Making that switch is hard though.
But I think if-
harder for women, I think, than men.
Probably.
For sure.
But I also think that you're in a unique position because every guy you've met for the last, how long were you and Jimmy together? Married?
20 years.
20 years has automatically gone into that friend zone.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, it's just, I don't know. I think because I was always the girl that was the tomboy that was friends with boys, and people always accuse girls of that, like, well, you're secretly sleeping with him. And I never was. And so it doesn't even cross my mind. It would be awkward. It'd be weird. It
All
would
right.
just,
Well, you would just have to change your brain.
that doesn't work for my brain.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm just saying you would have to change your brain to not to,
my brain is set. Did you see the boxer guy on here?
Yeah.
So here's my question, and this is just a question for whoever's listening now. And would you guys ever date somebody who was like a UFC like fighter, like not even professionally, but like they did it for fun, like but they actually got in the ring and like beat the shit out of other people? Like am
Why
I?
not?
Well, I'll tell you why not, because they're obviously violent people.
That's not true.
Well, that's what I want to know. I mean, they're violent people in that they enjoy punching people in the face.
I don't think that's true.
But what
A lot of professional fighters can turn that off.
Yeah.
that's what I want to know.
It's a mindset, I think.
Because you think about it, there's all these people that can't turn it on. I can't just turn it on and be like, oh my God, this is so fun to punch people in the face.
I
Like
don't-
you're born with that in your head. And I'm just wondering if those guys, and I have no idea, I'm probably going to sound like an asshole.
I think
and-
you're looking at it wrong.
I think that people who like are in MMA are going to like message me and tell me how horrible I am, but it's just a question in my
No.
brain.
Yeah, I don't think you're horrible. I think you're looking at it from a wrong perspective of like, wow, that guy wants to punch somebody in the face. And I'm sure there are people that do think like, yeah, I want to punch somebody in the face. But I think there are people that just enjoy like, the
I just
sport of
think
it.
that they have a violent chunk in their brain that a lot of other people don't.
Possibly.
Well, but
So Jeremy Brown just said fighters will choose their career over you, and I'll agree with that. I think more than any other sport, people who are in combat sports, UFC, boxing, things like that, because it's an individual
Yeah.
sport, they don't realize when the sport has passed them by, and or they're never going to make it as a career.
Well, yeah, these guys are fighting like the Casey Hall. Like I'm
Yeah.
not talking about like
In their
real
30s,
fighters.
going like, I'm going to make it. my dude, you're 35 years old.
Yeah.
If you ain't made it by now,
Well,
that train has left. the
yeah, I
station.
guess it depends on like their mindset on like why they're doing it. If they're trying to
Right.
make it, that's one thing. But if they're just doing it as a pastime,
So-
as a hobby or something, that's different.
Lisa said kind of what I'm thinking is that like they have a lot of concussion damage probably. And like, do they have that in them where they could snap, or is it the complete opposite that they're like complete teddy bears? But like, again,
I think everyone has that potential in.
not every, I don't see Stephanie snapping.
How many?
I mean, not
All right,
violently.
Crime con. All right, crime con lady.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard we never saw
it
this
coming.
coming?
Yeah.
Everyone
Yep.
has a snap.
You watch Dateline.
I
Yep.
do. You know what? I don't ever see any boxers or MMA fighters on there murdering people.
Yeah.
So
That's
maybe
what
that.
I'm saying. Like it's an outlet for them.
Yeah. So maybe Jeff the boxer, I give him a chance.
Maybe.
I mean, he passed the criminal background check. So basically,
He's punching a bag instead of
Right?
I would
like
be
his
more
girlfriend.
concerned. And this is such a horrible generalization and stereotype.
that's okay. We're already assholes. Nobody cares.
I would be afraid that if you date anyone who's a fighter, it is going to be really dude broy.
I would say it probably is dude.
Probably, but like I'm attracted to masculinity. Like that's
But there's a difference between masculinity and being a dude bro.
yeah. I also think they probably smell like consistently.
It depends on if you're into that though. I mean,
Like
if you're into that
BO?
like man smell though.
No, like fighter. Like I've been to like boxing gyms and like
Well, yeah, but you
Like hockey bag.
there's
funk.
a year
No one
round
wants
hockey
that.
bag funk all the time.
see, I'm used to hockey bag funk. It's like
I would imagine it's comparable.
yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine that the biggest, if I was a woman, the biggest downside of dating a fighter would be, I would imagine their solution to everything is, I'll just punch him in the face.
Well, that's what I'm like. How do they fight with you? Like when you get in arguments with them, like how, like, I'm not saying that they like beat women, but I'm just saying like, are they quick to go just violent and be like angry and not?
I would hope not, because I would think
I
they
would
would
hope
have a
not.
good, healthy outlet for that kind of anger.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's kind of what I think too.
That's a great
I'm
point.
sure that they get aggro real quick,
Yeah.
but there's a difference.
But then they're like,
between,
I gotta go punch something. You know, so
Yeah.
they're gonna go to the gym and beat a speed
bag or
bag.
something.
A
Yeah.
speed bag.
Well,
for an
the
hour.
one guy that I was friends with that was a long time, he was a I don't know if it's professional, but he went pretty far in boxing, but he always said like, I don't fight anyone unless I'm getting paid. Like somebody can come up to me in a parking lot and want to fight me. And I'm like, dude,
There you
if
go.
you're not paying me, I'm not fighting you. Like
you go.
that's not like, so, okay. That wasn't even what I was going to like go into. However, the back to the slot machine thing. When we dated 20 years ago, it would go like this. You would start talking to somebody, they would ask you on a date, you would go on the date that weekend, and if they liked you, they would ask you on a date like the next weekend.
Yep.
or the next day, or
Yes.
Yeah.
Or that night.
yeah.
Okay.
I have been married a long time. That's kind of how it went.
Okay, that's not how it is anymore. Like it is like the New York Stock Exchange floor of like, it is chaos. And I am such a, like, I'm so old school and I'm so naive to all of this that I feel bad even like having conversations with more than one person. I'm like, oh my God, I'm conversation cheating on this guy. And I'm trying to like change my mindset into like,
That gets real easy real quick.
okay, I'm working on it. The thing is, like I said, it's a big pool of really, really hurt guys and really, really exhausted girls. And what
Yes.
I'm finding, are there any guys out there left? Because I feel like there's girls like me that just want like fuck yes energy. And what I mean by that is like, if you like someone online and they like you back and you say like, hey, we should hang out. Are there any guys left that go, fuck yes, let's hang out?
Yeah.
What are you doing on Saturday?
Yep.
Fuck yes, I want to see you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's gone.
See,
I feel like
it
it's
is
like,
gone, and that's the same bullshit that I deal with. I hate the rules. I hate all the dumb shit rules of like, if you like someone, you have to wait, like 4 days.
that's
Why is
so
that a rule, though?
stupid.
Societal norms.
Why would you want somebody to wonder how you
It's
felt about them?
so dumb.
Does it have to be a rule though? I mean, do you have to do that? I mean, can
in
you be like,
my-
I know, like society says I'm supposed to wait 3 days, but I
In,
like you. Like, why can't I text you now?
In my experience, yes. Because as a guy, I have found if Kelly and I go on a date and the next day I'm like, hey, this was really fun. Let's do this again. All of a sudden, oh my God, you are so attached.
What?
Oh, no. See, those are crazy girls. Those aren't the normal
Well-
girls. There's normal girls out there who
Are there?
Yes, because
Are
like I don't want to say like this one guy was like, "Hey, I really want to see you. I want to meet you." And by now we had each other's last names, we had each other's Facebooks. Like I knew he wasn't a criminal, and I liked him. I'm like, "Sounds great." And he's like, okay, well, maybe Saturday is what he said. This was like a couple weeks ago. And then I said, and you guys can tell me, you can be honest if this was too mean. Now, keep in mind, I think I'm busier than the average bear, okay, than the average person. I have a lot less time than most people between the jobs, the 3 kids, and just running an entire house. Like, I don't have a lot of time. And so when he said maybe Saturday,
You need a commitment.
I said, hey, like, I'm free Saturday, but just so you know, like, if you flake on me, like, there's no second chance. Like,
That's
I don't.
fair.
Okay, because then he was like, "Oh, I only get one shot." Well, then,
Yeah, you get one shot.
and he sort of like backed up and like tucked his tail. I haven't heard from him since. And
Bye, Felicia.
I said
Yeah.
it nicely, so that wasn't bitchy. That wasn't
Nope.
me being entitled.
I
I don't think so at all.
Okay, because then I
Hey,
thought maybe I'm asking too much.
But all these stories
Mhm.
are the exact reason why I end up dating women that I'm friends with. The
Yeah.
girls that I'm currently involved with are women that I've known forever. That
Yeah.
you would never guess. Well, maybe you would. You would never guess that I'm involved with.
Well, that's because you also like. I mean, like you got lots of girls a lot of times. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it. You've got a roster. Let's put it
I
that
do.
way. You've got a roster.
I love that.
But how many of those women are married? So like
A couple of them,
immediately scratch those off.
but they're still on your
Do
roster.
you though?
I mean,
You can still give them a call, like at any time.
we hang out.
Define hang out.
I
Yeah.
went to go see Mean Girls with my friend's wife and her daughter over.
That doesn't count because I know
Yeah.
you're not porking her. But I mean,
I'm
like,
just saying. Like, who would you consider using initials? Who would you consider who's married and on my roster?
I don't know. If I were married, I mean, there's very few people, if I were married or even in a serious relationship, that I could then go hang out with somebody of the opposite sex and it be like, you would probably be one of like, probably him and then Chad would be like the end of the list of guys that like one of my significant others would let me hang out with because it's just, at some point it's kind of not appropriate or respectful.
It depends. Like, I mean, I don't have any, I don't have a ton of guy friends, but my husband wouldn't have any problem with me hanging out with,
Right.
other guys. Just
and it
But I
depends
also
on the
don't think
thing.
I try really hard not to put off like a threatening or predatorial
You do.
vibe
I agree.
when I'm
no,
with
yeah, I don't think you are that at all.
friends' wives or women who I know are married. Like,
Yeah.
I would never want to go out with one of the two of you and have you wondering, like, is this guy going to try to make a move on me?
Right.
Like, I because I'm respectful of that. Because I also know that there's a guy at home who's like, why are you hanging out with another dude?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
'Cause
got to be a
guys
special situation.
Guys are by their nature jealous.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes without saying that a guy is going to be a little sus if his wife is going to go hang out with another.
Right.
guy.
It has to be a special
Whether there's-
situation.
Yeah, whether there's trust or not, it's just
Right.
a thing.
If I could say one thing to guys out there in the online dating world, it is that do you know what is really attractive is effort.
Yes.
Yes.
Effort is
Ugh.
hot.
Oh, it's so
Effort is sexy. And
So
Oh my god.
like,
women have it way harder than guys in that department. I don't know, and I'm not complaining because I'm on the benefit of this side of the argument, but for whatever reason, society has decided that I can throw on a pair of jeans and a hoodie and a baseball cap and be date ready.
Yeah.
I can be ready in
It really
20
is unfortunate.
and I can be ready in 20 minutes.
yeah.
If you girls don't spend time on your hair, makeup, outfit, all of it, it's like, what's wrong
See,
with you?
okay, I think the opposite of that, because I think then you're like a try too hard Tammy. Like, I feel like if I show up at a date, like dressed to the nines, then they're like, oh man, she tried really hard, but missed the mark. Like,
Well, I think it depends. It depends on the guy and the situation, right? Like if you were going on a date, with a girl, I think, and it depends on the date too, right?
Sure.
So if you're going to a movie,
Yeah. I
with
don't
a
need
girl,
you to put on a dress and heels.
right? You wouldn't expect her to show up in a dress and heels. You expect her to be comfortable. Right?
I 2 weekends ago went out on a date and I told the girl specifically, I was like, it is effing cold. Be warm, be comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen you in and out of everything that you have.
like you don't have to impress me.
Yeah. Like, I'm good.
I already want to do ya. Like, it,
Yeah. Like,
you can do whatever you want.
for real. Like, be comfortable and warm.
And
It's
that's-
cold.
So I have met one person online from offline, like in life and real person. I can't talk. And we watched part of a hockey game at a bar, and I texted him. I was like, "Dude, I'm wearing like a sweatshirt and leggings because, like,
Did you wear makeup?
Yeah, like normal makeup, like that I would wear every day. But also, anytime I meet somebody online, at least going forward, it's the first time is never to me a date because I don't want to like a stranger to kiss me like that I don't know. Like, it's like, hey, let's meet up and have a drink or go to lunch. I'll pay for me, you pay for you, and then we'll split. And if we like each other, then you can take me out on a real date. And then I'll actually but I don't know. I don't dress up, so I hopefully guys won't take that as like.
Some dudes will.
Well, it also says on my profile, like, hey, I'm like a lifelong tomboy. Like and it says like, what is your personal hell? And I'm like, candlelit restaurants, like fancy restaurants. That's my personal hell.
So if you lay it out there, then you're fine.
Yeah.
There's still going to be guys who are going to hold you to that standard, which is bullshit, but it's.
But then they're not for you.
Yep.
Well, then it sounds like I scared away the right people.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So that, that makes sense. But so I asked people online to send me their red flags or their immediate no's for online dating. And we're going to kind of go through this list and you guys tell me what you're going to think. I'm going to tell you my first red flags is number one, and I need all the women in the world out there to listen to me. If he tells you he doesn't have any other social media, he doesn't have social media, run, you idiots. Yep. Run. Like any guy, and I get that you don't reveal your social media, so you're more familiar with somebody or you're going to meet in person. It's not like the first thing I do. But if a guy says, there's guys who have on their dating profiles, I don't have social media, so don't ask me for it.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, you're also married. You're very married.
Yeah.
Right.
You're very married. So if you say, because I will not meet anyone in person that I don't know their last name, I've not seen your Facebook, things like that. And again, I'm not like judging too much on their Facebook, except for one thing.
I'm waiting for you to reveal a red flag that's going to be one that I'm guilty of. And but I have a legit reason.
There's several on here that I think that we're probably both guilty of. So when I stalk somebody's Facebook, you want to know what I look for, what my red flag is I go to see when the last time was they changed their profile photo. So if you go under when they changed their profile photo, you look under it. And because typically if you change your Facebook profile picture, a lot of your friends and family will comment underneath it. Even your Aunt Tina, like, oh, looking good, honey.
Yep.
So if they change their profile picture and nobody comments on it, I'm like, nobody likes them. Like, that's just what I think. Like, even their own family doesn't like them because you could put up the shittiest like profile picture in the world and somebody in your comments will be like, oh, you look great. Like, don't you think,
I agree.
Is that a good, like, I don't know why that
unless they change it to like, some arbitrary object.
No. I mean, like, they, like 6 months ago, they just changed their picture.
Nobody said nothing.
And nobody said anything.
That ain't their real profile then.
That's either not their real profile or everyone on their list hates them.
Yep.
One of the two. The other big red flag for me that I'm learning, because again, this is new, are these freaking, I don't mean to call them crybabies because I'm not saying that people who have trauma are crybabies, but these damn trauma dumpers that like, what the hell? Like, I will do everything in my power to hide my emotion from you. And so if we haven't even met yet,
that's our generation though.
But it's like emotional weaponry. Like, it's especially for me, like I'm an empath. So if we haven't even met yet and you're telling me all of this abuse you went through and you are manipulating me emotionally to be connected to you when I haven't even met you.
Yeah, it's one thing to like be in a relationship with somebody, to talk about it, but like if you haven't even met the person yet,
No, yeah.
Okay.
I've met a few girls who like on first date, they're like, and then when I was 14, this happened. And I'm like, can we just get the check? I'm out.
All right. Hoss has got to pee. So you just go out the door and to your left.
I'm no stranger here.
Okay. This is the problem with the live show. So Stephanie, we're going to talk amongst ourselves a minute. But yeah, so there's a lot of trauma dumpers out there. And I just feel like they are trying to attach themselves to you emotionally because you're a woman. Yep. And so that's immediate red flag for me.
Well, and I have one of those faces that makes people want to tell me things.
I do too. Like, what is it with our, like, I could, like, strangers trauma dump on me.
Yep. It's fine, because like, I'm generally one of those people that likes to listen. But if I was dating and that was somebody that was telling me that within the first like 20 minutes of meeting them, and it'd be like, okay,
yeah, all right, I get really exhausted by trauma dumping, and I should be grateful that the people feel open enough to talk to me about it. But especially a lot of times at the end of my day, it's like I've dealt with so many other people's problems, like I can't even think about my own.
Yeah.
So aside from red flags, there's also immediate no's, and so Steph, one of my immediate no's is I'm not going to say bad grammar, but horrible grammar.
Horrible grammar.
Because I'm not like the grammar police.
I am.
But if I'm not going to argue with you over like an Oxford comma, but like if you can't spell like your and your correctly.
Do you know what an Oxford comma is?
Yes.
Oh,
an
good.
Oxford comma is where you do the last comma before and. Because
thank you.
I am team Oxford comma. I am also team 2 spaces after a period because that is how we were trained.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I was texting a guy and he used the word probably instead of probably.
Nope.
No.
I was like, nope. And he's like our age. And I was like, yeah, no.
Not for
Also,
new-
if you use KK, I'm gonna slap you.
KK, yeah.
You know, I mean, I've been guilty of using probably occasionally, but only with people
With your people you know.
Yeah, I'm not
Yes.
going to use that with somebody new.
Not someone trying to impress.
No,
And-
God.
And I get typos and I get stuff like that. And again, if it's like one thing, I'm not sweating it because I'm not a grammar specialist by any means, but just the basic fundamentals of how to construct a sentence. If you
Yep.
can't do that, it's an immediate no.
Agreed.
Also, if a guy has a filter, like
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
immediate no. And
Girls too.
like honestly, I feel so bad for guys. The one guy that I met with, I was like, so how often do you show up and the girls just don't look anything like their picture? He's like, all the time.
Yep.
So for me, like it's just like a manly thing. Like you need to use your freaking like your regular face. And so that's
Yes.
all my pictures have that on there. And then oh, I know. If politics is their entire personality.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I don't care.
Yeah, that is
I
an
don't
immediate
care
no.
which side you're on.
Yep.
Right?
It is an immediate no.
You know, like I don't really care.
Yeah, have an opinion, fine.
Have an opinion, fine, but it should not be the first thing that I find out about you.
Nor should it be something that if you don't agree with them, you're stupid and they're going to tell you why.
Oh, and I see
Yeah.
that all the time.
Yep.
People are like,
Yep.
no Trumpers or no liberals or no this and that. And I'm like, you're missing so many great people by thinking like that. It's just horrible. Another big red flag from the girls that I hear all of the time, and I have zero experience with this, is love bombing. Do you guys know what love bombing is?
I've heard of it,
Oh.
and I can make some guesses.
Love bombing is apparently like the first sign of a narcissist because they're just like, oh my God, I love you. You're the one.
Oh, they're
like,
all in from
Yeah.
the jump.
right.
Yeah.
That's what love bombing is.
Yeah,
I
that's-
wouldn't
that's
know.
Narcissism.
Yeah, like I read this about you, and I just knew you were going to be it for me. Like,
I've never been love bombed in my life. I don't think anyone even like likes me that much to
no.
love bomb me. Like I'm like, don't even know what that is. Another red flag somebody said is if they only have selfies on their profile, like if they don't have any photos with other people, it kind of makes you think like, dude, do you not have any friends?
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird.
that's a little weird.
I agree. I've got pictures on my profile with other people. I just have like their faces marked out. So that, you know, they're not having to be seen. If they instantly start bashing their ex or like their family situation of like, I can't see my kids and she keeps me from my kids. And
That's kind of trauma dumping.
So
too.
I dated a girl, I think, she was around when the show was going on. And it was like dating a Jerry Springer series.
I think I know what you're talking about.
There was always family drama to the point where it was exhausting and I ended up breaking up.
Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
into the trauma dumping. Like that's not what I'm here for, especially in the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Like get your shit together.
Yep.
And I almost feel like that's my disadvantage of the online dating world is that I don't think that I don't think a lot of guys are used to like a happy whole girl. Like they're used to girls who are like traumatic and broken and they sort
Help
of
me, help me.
right. And a guy knows when a girl acts like that, they know their role. They know exactly what to do to make her happy. And then when they come across someone who's happy and whole, they're like, what do I do with her?
Here's the thing. There are guys out there who want to be Captain Save-A-Ho.
Yes.
There are guys
I want to
who-
be saved.
there are guys out there who get off on saving the girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
but-
You want to be the hero.
Yeah, man.
And there are girls out there that wear their trauma like
Who
a
want to
princess
be
crown.
saved.
Yes, they want to be saved.
Same girl that we were just talking about was in a rush to introduce me to the kids.
Yikes. No.
And when we finally broke up, she was like, well, what are we going to tell the kids? And I was like, you tell them whatever tell them I fell off a cliff and died. I
Yeah.
don't care. They're not my kids.
Yeah, what's this we?
Yeah.
Tell him I fell off a cliff and died. We are running short on time. I try not to go much over an hour. Never ask you questions about yourself. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that a lot
That
too.
again is narcissism.
Yeah. It's like they answer questions, but then they don't ask you a question. And
Yep.
it's like, that's weird.
You still haven't hit on the one that I'm guilty of.
I've got a bunch more.
Somebody said that if you asked to FaceTime and they said their camera doesn't work.
Oh yeah, that's like an instant.
Yeah, that's BS.
Yeah.
So I haven't done the FaceTiming thing because I'm just scared they're going to whip out their wiener. Like, like honestly, like
As
that's
you should be.
yeah. They can't really do that as easily in person.
They come out of nowhere.
I mean, don't you think you would ask for like a real picture first
Of what?
of them?
Oh yeah,
No,
but you-
not of their wiener.
That doesn't mean that they're not going to send it.
right. Well, it's just if you're on with them live, then they have control of what they're going to do, and a lot of guys who do that get off on the reaction of the
Yeah.
girl, and that's why they're doing it. So,
That's true.
but yeah, if he says his camera doesn't work or anything like that, definitely. This one I wouldn't say that I agree with, but it says it's a red flag if they say in their profile that they don't drink because I assume they're a recovering alcoholic.
Why would that be bad?
I can't say I don't drink, but I rarely drink now.
I don't drink, and when I went on the one like hockey thing with to watch the hockey game with that guy,
Yeah.
I ordered a drink just because I didn't want it to go into it like that early that I don't drink.
And what did I tell you? I was like, who freaking cares?
Yeah, Stephanie's like, who cares?
Who
I'm like,
cares?
I don't know. It's
She
just
was like, I don't want to have to explain this and
That I
da-da.
don't
was like,
drink
There's
and
a
that-
lot of people that
The
don't
other
drink.
is
like, who cares?
the people who are incapable of just having one or two drinks.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I dated a
Then need to
girl
get
who,
obliterated every time.
Yep. I
Yeah.
dated a girl who on paper, we were a perfect match. And every time we went out, she had to drink. And not just like, I'm going to have a drink with dinner, but like, I'm going to have a bottle and a half or two
Oh,
bottles of wine myself.
jeez.
And by the end of the date, I was like, I don't want to be near you.
Well, I don't like to me that's not a red flag. And honestly, I wouldn't have a problem dating a recovering alcoholic. So that's not a
No,
red flag
that's
for
fine.
me.
That's
That's
some
fine.
super self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yep. Good for you for getting healthy.
The next one, a lot of people said this if they live with their parents. Now,
Hosh, you want to speak to this?
Hosh?
Is there a reason for it?
well, that's what
Because I spent 2 years living with my parents, but that was because I was helping out with my dad.
Yeah.
exactly, and that's why I don't understand why that's a red flag. I mean, I get why on the surface it's a red flag,
Yeah.
Sure.
but I just think that we are all at an age now in our 40s where we are at the age that our parents are needing help,
Yep.
and that sometimes that is what makes sense in our life right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if that is your long-term plan, then no.
No.
Then it's probably
if
a
you're
red flag.
If you're living with your parents mooching off of them,
That's one thing.
that's one thing.
Right.
But if your parents live with you or you're living with them
Or they're
to help them
elderly
out,
and they fall a lot, or like I don't think
It's
that should be an
situational.
automatic red flag.
Yeah, I
Situational.
spent 2 years living with my mom and dad recently.
Right.
And
And
I-
you're a successful on top of your shit
Yeah.
guy. So
But I'm also an only child, and I knew like it was up to me.
yeah. Another
Thank God I got a house and got out.
yeah, I know. Another red flag somebody says is if they don't have a passport.
I don't think that's a red flag.
That's not a red flag. I don't have a passport.
No, my husband literally got a
I mean, it's a
passport last
bonus
year.
if they do, but it's not a red flag. I know a lot of people who've never traveled 100 miles outside of St. Louis in any direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I hate traveling, so I don't have a passport.
Yeah.
Another red flag is this one. I don't want to get into this one too much because obviously it pertains to me, but a lot of people said that no matter what, if the divorce is not final, they're not single and you should not date them. Obviously, I'm going to disagree with that one because
I'm going to disagree with that one too.
because I think
A
everybody's
lot.
I think on the surface it would be like, whoa, wait a minute, what do you mean you're not divorced yet? But people don't understand that divorces can take years
Yeah.
and not every situation is the same.
Right.
I'm in a very public situation where people would know I'm not lying about my situation, but I could see how,
Separation and divorce are very different.
yeah, they're very different, but only being separated to me is not a red flag unless I was in a serious relationship. Now, if I was like in love with somebody and wanted to marry them and they weren't divorced yet,
Right.
that's a problem.
Yeah.
But I'm not dating somebody because they're separated.
I may have dated so many in the process of separating women that I've had friends tell me that they're not going to be surprised when I get found dead with a shot in my
Oh my
back.
God. You need, I need a copy of your roster because that way, if you're ever found
Is
dead,
it written?
No,
Well,
but I could probably write it.
I have an
Ugh.
entire folder in my phone
We have
called creepy ass dudes. And Jimmy, everyone knows if I'm ever found dead, here's my list of like stalkers and like people who've sent me creepy messages or like guys I've gone on dates with. So
I feel like
Hoss-
we need a compiled like Google sheet of this.
we do. We need
All
we need a because I wouldn't know where to start.
We share.
And does
this,
anybody
please?
track you on Life 360?
I don't even know what the hell that is.
Oh my God.
I never did sign up for that. I'm sorry.
You didn't?
Why is it?
It's okay. Everybody tracks me now. So like my friends were like, when I was going to watch that hockey game with that guy,
I knew where you were.
yeah, my friends were like, oh my God, Kelly, we need to know where you are. And like,
We knew his name.
I'm not
we
hard
knew where
to track
he lived.
down. I
You're not.
check in pretty much everywhere.
yeah, that's true. Somebody said it's a red flag if they've been divorced more than once.
Mm,
I don't think, I mean, like
eh.
a red flag to not go on a couple dates with somebody. I don't know. It just,
I would say I would definitely want to know why,
sure. And I think that
because
that's
there's a common denominator, whether we want to admit it or not.
right. Common denominator.
Yeah.
This guy, this is really funny. This is a personal thing, but this one guy said no boob tattoos. And I said,
Fact, Jeremy. Facts.
I
I'm
said,
gonna be a Dateline.
I know. Someone said
Possibly.
Haas going to be a date.
hey, if you go on Dateline, I get to be the friend that's interviewed. Me and Stephanie.
Yeah. Can we say
As long as it's not the Dateline where Chris Hansen comes out and goes, "Why don't you have a seat?"
No,
I'm cool with that.
no. Can we just say your smile lit up a room?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Listen, if I ever
You
die,
need to be the one who's be like, "No, really." Everyone thought he was nice. He was.
I'm going to be like, he was a dickhole and he had 3 friends. Like,
Yeah.
I'm never going to say you lit up a room. And if you say it about me, I'll haunt you.
We never saw it coming. I knew this. I knew this day. was
Everybody
coming.
loved him. We don't know what
Yeah. No, he was a dick and like 3 people liked him. So I'm not surprised he's dead. The guy that
so
said,
shocking.
the guy who said no boob tattoos, I actually messaged him. I'm like, why is that a red flag? And he goes, I just love boobs so much. It's like ruining the Mona Lisa. And I'm like, that's
Oh.
fair.
Fair. Boobs are amazing.
Look, I love boobies. I can't say that I'm pro boob tattoo. I think it depends on what the tattoo is.
It's usually like, if it's on your boobs, it's usually like a rose or like vines or
Yeah.
something like
A
I don't know.
heart or something, so-
I know a girl who had her sorority letters on her boob.
Oh, for shit's sake. What
that's
is wrong
fine.
with you?
It's college.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sakes.
You do just dumb shit when you're 19.
Yeah.
Come on.
Another one that I didn't know about, and obviously, like, there needs to be a class for online dating because there's so much stuff I don't know. If they have ENM in their profile, it stands for that they are in an ethically non-monogamous marriage.
Open relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But is that like,
Or a pineapple on their profile means they're swingers.
well, there's the whole profiles of couples
Yeah.
that are like, hey, we're looking for
a third.
Mhm.
I mean, look, if everybody knows going into it that that's what it is,
But how do you
Cool.
find out that that's really what it is?
I
Like-
would say you talk to both people.
Yeah. Like that, if that's really what they're looking for, that should be like the most open thing.
Yeah.
To talk about
Yeah.
ever.
If-
Absolutely.
Here's how you know it's not. If the guy is like, "Oh, we're totally in a open relationship," and you say, "Cool, let's talk to your wife." We don't need to talk to my wife.
Yeah.
It's not an open
That's not
relationship.
an open relationship.
And I don't have Facebook.
Right.
Right. The last one I have, and then Hoss can tell me what his was, is red flag is that if they're over 40 and they've never been married. So Hoss, you fit into this category. What do you think?
I mean, I get why it would be a red flag. For me, I think that the reason I have never been married is I chose a career that makes me live like a nomad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to start a relationship when you're never home.
I don't think that's a red flag. I know plenty of people over 40 never been married.
I don't think it's a red flag, but I would have a lot of questions about if they wanted something serious. Like, if you made it through your whole life and were never like married, it's like I don't think
Man,
that's something they would ever want. Then
I tell you what, like Haas has a great example of why he calls, his ex Satan.
Yeah.
Like I know another guy that calls his ex
I've
something
drawn
similar.
some bad cards.
Like there
Yeah.
some relationships just don't work out. It's not that they don't necessarily want something or they didn't have long relationships that just didn't work out that way.
I think
and like
mine
some people
is-
just don't draw that, good relationship card a bunch of
Strictly
times
from
in a row.
dating standpoint, there's 2 big reasons. If you had told me that I would be 47 and never married and no kids, I'd have laughed at you. I
Yeah.
thought that I would 100% would be.
Yeah.
1, I hate dating. I like being in a relationship.
Yeah.
If we could just fast forward to the relationship
yes,
part,
please.
I-
God, dating sucks.
Dating is awkward
hate
as hell.
I hate dating. The other part is feeding off of that is you get to the point where you're like, I just don't care anymore. But yeah, I mean, I get why some people would say it's a red flag, but it is what it is.
I also think that a lot of guys, I've got this theory that I probably shouldn't have, but I have this theory that the majority of guys, not the majority, let's say at least half of men out there, they marry whoever is convenient for them at the right time. Like they marry the girl that they are with when they're ready to get married. And it's
Okay.
not so much about like, this is my soulmate. It's that like, I'm in my late 20s. I do love her and she's here at the right time. So I'm gonna
She wants to get married now.
she
I
wants
should
to get married.
married.
I feel like guys just sort of take the easiest route when it comes to that. And so if they're over 40 and not married, not a huge red flag. It just means they didn't take that bait
They
of
didn't fall for that.
I get overly critical with the women that I talk to.
you're
now.
definitely picky.
Yeah.
Well,
Not picky, you're selective.
my pickiness now comes from one of my biggest red flags is if we're on one of the first or second dates and you start asking me what shows we're going to go to, or hey, can you get me tickets to this?
Oh,
out.
that's
You're
because of
out.
your job, though. So Haas
Yeah.
works in the music industry and manages a bunch of famous bands, and so that would, of course, be a red flag for you. Which is why it's hard for me to imagine dating anybody in my inbox that is, in my DMs, because it's like, well, they already know everything about me. It's kind of not
Right.
fair. It's not a fair playing field. But yeah, have you had girls do that?
Oh, a lot.
Girls,
lot.
at least hide that shit to like
I
the
know,
fifth date.
like, give it a few months.
Ironically, and I think it's one of the reasons why we kept getting back together, Satan was never cared.
Yeah.
Never cared.
Yeah. The one guy that I talked to that I went and hung out with, the best thing was he was like, I don't have TikTok. I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
this is perfect. We're soulmates.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, dating is horrible. I'm with Haas. If I could just fast forward to like, hey, can we hang out in sweatpants and like watch Netflix? Like,
Yeah.
can that be our first
Yes.
date? Like that should be a more accepted thing.
I think so.
But-
So you didn't hit on the one that I thought you would hit on.
Oh, what's the one you thought?
My phone's locked.
Oh, so okay, it's kind of a whole other can of worms, but is it knowing their password or knowing?
Why is your phone locked? What are you hiding from me?
What?
Well, my phone is locked
A password on your phone?
because there are a lot of phone numbers of a lot of very famous people in this phone.
Yeah.
And if I would lose it, I don't want any person off the street to go, oh, well, let's call Brent Smith from Shinedown. Let's
Right.
call Lizzie
Wait.
Hale. Let's call Slash.
Whose
Let's call
Do you know people whose phone is not locked?
a lot of people.
Really?
I don't know anyone whose is not locked.
I don't either.
Here's my rule with phones and relationships is that like if you're my boyfriend, I at no point want to pick up your phone and go through it. But if we're sitting together watching a movie and your phone, you get a text message and you don't just pick up your phone in front of me to look at it, that's a red flag.
Yes.
Like, or if you can't go in the next room to get a drink and you have to take your phone with you,
Oh,
that's
I
a
do
red
that.
flag.
I don't leave a room without my phone. It's
But I
just
mean, like,
habit, though.
But I
It's
don't
not that
know.
I'm hiding something, but like when I get up to use the bathroom, I'll grab my phone.
To me, well, I mean,
Because you never know when you're going to need it.
right? You might have to take a dump. But like,
Those-
I mean, I would almost leave my phone on purpose just to show them, like, hey, I'm not hiding anything. There's just
Right.
I don't want to look in your phone unless you give me a reason to look in your phone.
Yeah.
You give me a reason to look in your phone, then we got bigger problems. But also, you shouldn't be hiding it like it's
It's been a thing with many relationships in the beginning to the point where I have to unlock it and go, here, I don't know what you want to look at, but there, go.
right. Like I should be comfortable if I'm not doing anything wrong. I should be comfortable giving my boyfriend my phone and going, oh my God, look at this picture and
Yeah.
and swipe left and look at the next one. Like. I mean, I mean, I think it's just a lot of common sense. So yeah, I am going to keep doing the online dating thing. It's been fun so far, but again, I can see why everybody gets so frustrated by it. It's just, a lot of hurt men and a lot of exhausted women is not a good combination. And to the guys out there, effort is sex. Effort.
Boy, you said it, sister.
Effort is sexy.
So
and
sexy.
and
There's your next shirt, and I'm buying one.
And if you want to
Effort.
date a girl, bring the fuck yes energy, please.
Please.
God, quit pissing around. That's all. We went way over today, but a big thanks to Pro Joe for hanging out with us and to Vic Fowles for letting us rent out his studio. He does Cancel This every morning from 8 to 10 a.m. You can find all of his social media at Cancel This. And we are going to be, God willing, back next week on Tuesday again.
Hopefully some better weather.
Hopefully better weather, and hopefully I have my imaging and my logos and shit together. Again, we hard launched this last week, and we love you guys for jumping in so fast with us. We're gonna get more professional again as we go. We're just kind of doing this backwards for now.
Maybe.
I got to
We'll see.
figure out something else pink to wear next week. Keep it going since that's the color.
You got to get the
of
pink
show.
on top, though.
I've got pink on top. I with wearing pink pants. I was
Oh,
like,
are those your Victoria's Secret pants?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's one of them. Yeah.
Nice. I still can't believe they make them in like Sasquatch size.
I mean, I wore them pretty low on my hips.
Okay, then we're getting personal.
but they're comfy as hell.
I'm telling you,
They
the,
look so
the pink line of clothes and then the Hollister joggers are just the best thing on the planet.
Yeah.
I borrowed my son's one day and I was like, oh, these are also shout out to my
Stolen.
son, Rocky, got up, shoveled my driveway before it was even 10 a.m. this morning.
Aw.
That's a good kid.
Before 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like literally got up. It was the first thing he did was shovel the driveway for me.
Right on.
That's so sweet.
So, all right, that's all. We love you guys, and we will see you next Tuesday, same place, same time. You know what I forgot? We said if you like the show, share the show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Popped in my brain. So, all right, we love you guys, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with us.